do look like women. I wouldn't look and go, with there's, you know. But this is where I'm saying there's got to be an element of protection, and but I get where you're coming from. It's like, how do we distinguish what that protection is? But I do believe that for my generation of people, women went into women's changing rooms and men went into men's changing rooms, and I do feel a certain element of, well, where is my protection? Where you know, where I don't want a man looking at me stripping off in a changing room, or I don't want to go into a toilet with someone. But if someone is a genuine transgender person, I probably wouldn't look and think, oh, they're a man. I wouldn't guess if they're anything other than a woman.
Can I just get this out there? Just why there's a little break, and just get this out. No, transgender is legit or real. They're not real. Transsexual are the real ones. What you're talking about?
Chloe, what country are you from?
England.
I mean,
So I don't, to be very honest, I don't sound English. I'm not English. I'm Australian. I don't think you can talk about Australian because it's not like that. We can actually say no.
It is like
And
that. I've got friends who live there who like study these laws. Like, it's definitely like that. I've got friends who live there who study these laws, who do debate to it every day, and they've got all the information and sources about it. And so I think you need to go and Google it.
I'm sorry?
I think you need to go and Google it. Your literal legal definition of woman includes self-identifying men now. Like, not even just trans women. Not even just trans women. It includes men who are pretending to be trans. And you can't exclude them from any space. Even if you have a gathering for loads of... Well, I'm telling you that is the case, so you need to go and Google it. If you go to any other debate live on TikTok, you'll hear that.
Yeah, it's Cassie, isn't it? Is it Cassie?
Yeah, Cassie, Summer, all of them.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the danger lies. That's where the lines blur, don't they? And that's where it is women's protection.
And this is what I mean, like take your head out your ass. You don't even know you don't even know the laws around this sex in your own country. That's how far your head is up your ass. You're too busy worrying about these men in dresses and how they feel. I said you're too worrying about these men in dresses and how they feel and not wanting to upset them. That you don't even know the law around women in your own country. I've just had to educate you on your law about your rights.
Because you spoke over me and I don't appreciate that.
To call me out and say like, oh, I'm Australian, I must know more, when you definitely don't know more about that than me.
I don't even know what to say at this point, mate. Like, honestly. Because what I'm seeing is completely different. But if that's what happened in my city, that's what happened in my city. I don't live... Like, I live in a capital city, but I don't live in the main capital city of Australia, so maybe that's what's happening for what.
Zamach in the comments.
are the rules different in every city?
I'm a man, like you. I've got a man's vocal cords and everything. I'm a man. Like, what are you trying to do in the comments? I know what I am.
But I think in this day and age, though, there's a certain element of a lot of people just have to go along with what's happening now because people are afraid to speak up, because you've got so many people that will literally jump down others' throats and go, yeah, terrible, and these people, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it's actually just keep quiet and say nothing. And it is a bad way to be. And as I say, I, for one, I just feel as a woman, I do want an element of protection. I want to be able to go into a women's toilet and a women's changing rooms and feel safe and feel okay.
Right, but Scouts, we're not going to get that. And that's exactly why they've done what they've done, right? Words like transphobic, bigot, turf, hate, they have been designed to do exactly that. Silence.
To make people put up and shut up.
People will...
The more you go along with it...
on your face just because you
got... Hang on, because someone's talking. Learn your place.
The more you go along with it, right, the more they get away with it. So, and me and Chloe are both the same on this. These words mean nothing. I get called these words on a daily basis. and it means nothing, because my fight for women's rights and the protection of women's rights is going to trump any name that anyone can say to me. And as women, we have been dragged since the dawn of time in a variety of different ways, you know, and if we all had the same attitude, well, we're not going to say anything because we're afraid of a name that someone's going to call us, we would never be where we are today. It's taken the brave women that have stood up and spoken out and carried on going irrespective that's enabled us to have the rights we have today. So do we not feel that we owe something to the women that came before us? We owe it to the women that are here now, and we owe
the
it
women
to
who gave their lives.
Yeah.
But like women actually unalived, and like this is just like, oh, let's ignore what they fought for. Let's just give it away.
What I am going to say is, I do believe that the younger generation keep quiet. A lot of them, I know. I mean, I've got 2 sons, and I know there's different things that can be said, and they go, oh, and you're like, oh, what's wrong? And to explain to me what I've said that's wrong there, and it's almost as if this woke generation, and they're afraid to you know, go against the grain and actually stand up for themselves. And total kudos to what you've just said. I'm sorry, I don't know who was speaking there, who explained about. Well, total kudos, and I agree, absolutely agree what you're saying. You know, but I think as the generations go down the line, that is going to dissipate, and that's the shame of it.
Yeah, only if we allow it, right? Because listen, I don't think this is necessarily. Look, I've got a teenage daughter. I've also got 2 sons in their 20s. You know, I'm 50, and you know, we also have to not mix up the two, right? We know that teens at a certain age become more obsessed and more concerned with what their peers think and say than they do the parents or anything else, right? Every single teenager will go through a phase like that. We probably all have ourselves, right? Where it matters more what our friends say. But that's just a phase. And with this on top of it, it's even more important that as parents, as much as we can, I'm not saying it's always going to work, but I think just keep saying the same thing over again. It's okay to have a different view, you know, to someone else. It's all right to, you know, I mean, I don't know, Scouse, did you say you were in your 50s or around that age?
I am, I'm in my 50s, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, we're Gen X as we're classed now, right? But we were brought up so much differently in the sense of, you know, we were encouraged to critically think. You know, my parents said to me, you know, don't just believe what someone is telling you, no matter whether they're one of your friends or even if they're an adult. You find out for yourself, you know, and you know, have the courage of your convictions. And I remember my mum saying to me, you know, stand up for what you believe, even if you're the only one standing, you know, if it's what you genuinely believe. And that really held me well throughout my whole life, you know, but we're not doing that enough with kids now. You know, it's, we can't keep being silenced, and Chloe's absolutely right. You know, I know Chloe might come across as quite harsh, but I think as a person that's been involved in this for a really long time and battling many different, you know, areas in this, you just get to a point where you've just had enough. It's, you know, your empathy and compassion kind of goes out the window a bit, because this empathy, you know, we do need to have empathy and compassion, don't get me wrong. But to an extent, it's led us to where we are now. You know, this whole be kind narrative. Well, do you know what? The tagline, be kind, the people who was being unkind to is women and girls. That very tagline.
Hashtag be audible.
Hashtag reality. You know, hashtag facts over feelings.
Hashtag slap.
Hashtag sit down and shut your gobs.
But this is the thing. I mean, I work in education, and we had a geezer come in, and we had a full-on fucking training about the trans community, and he referred to the non-trans people in the room, which was everyone, as cis. And I was like, no, I'm not cis. No, I'm a woman.
That infuriates me.
You have women, you have women, you have men, you have trans men, you have trans women. Like, do not be referring to me as cis, especially when you don't know me and you don't know if I'm okay with being called that. And then it was a case of, like, if we say the wrong thing or if we don't agree with what's going on, then we could lose our jobs. No, I'm sorry, but a child who has some sort of, mental illness because they think that they're the other gender doesn't have priority over my fucking job. How dare you? Like, that's not a thing that should be that should be happening. And I don't need training on trans, thank you very much. Give me something that's, like, actually worth my while. It really got to me, like, really got to me.
And I agree with you. Get that, right? The word cis, I hate, right? And here's the thing. And if it's being done in the workplace, they're on really dodgy ground. Okay? Because to claim the word cis is claiming that you identify as a woman, right? None of us identify as a woman. Woman is not an identity. It is what we are. From the cells of our skin on our outer body to the very core of us, through every cell, through every atom, we are women.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is why I have a problem with it. Because when they try and, they go, oh, you just don't know what the word means. No, I know fully well what the word means, but it's still irrelevant because you are, again, the word in there is identify. You're saying that my sexual body, right, aligns with what's going on in my head, and that proves my identity. No, I don't believe in this whole identity shit.
No.
It's crazy.
Exactly. I got asked yesterday on a live like this. They were like, so do you identify as female? And I was like, no, I don't identify as female. I am a female. I don't have to identify as something that I am. I only identify as something that I'm not. When I dress up as Iron Man, I'm identifying as Iron Man because clearly I'm not Iron Man.
That's what I mean. That's why I don't get all this identifying. Like, I don't identify as trans. I'm physically trans. Like, I just am trans.
Yeah.
Like, use a women.
Well, that's it. It's fact. It's factual.
Like, identity is just a false claim. Like, it just needs putting in the bin. It needs cancelling. It's irrelevant. Like, no one gives a shit what you think you are. You're not.
But I do, I go back to what I said earlier, that in the work, certainly in my workplace, it is, recently we've been told we have to be really careful about what we say and what about people and how we, what we call people, because it could be a disciplinary.
Yeah, as stupid as it sounds, though, you should take them. You should leave the job. All of you should leave the job so you're being made to do it, and then they'd have to stop doing it if you want.
Just threaten to take them to court. Just say, and this is it. We need to just remind. I mean, I'm really lucky.
Start the protest.
Yeah, but within my job, my job knows, and I'm in quite a high pressure job, and it doesn't matter what I do, but and we work on a lot of government contracts. However, my boss knows that I'm gender critical and respects the fact that I'm gender critical, so doesn't require me or ask me to do anything that goes against that. And I don't think there's enough employers now that understand that gender critical is a protected characteristic. So if you are forcing me to take on words like cis, if you are forcing me to use my pronouns, or to accept someone else's, then you are going against the Equality Act, and therefore if you were taken to court, you would lose.
That's really interesting. Thank you for that information.
I think where I work, we are same as yourself. I have a good job. It's a decent. It's in a media company.
Oh, we've got some high rollers in here.
We are educated, but we're certainly not told it will go to disciplinary. We are just educated. This is what, and that education continues, year in, year out. And that's great, but we're certainly not told it will go to disciplinary.
Yeah, but I mean, for example, I'll give you an example. So again, being born in the 60s, old school, I'm going back to when men used to wolf whistle ladies, things like that. Well, I'm not saying that is acceptable, but that is the generation that I was brought up in. So we had a call. There was something online. We did a video call, and me and my colleague just happened to say, to each other, "Cool, he's fit," and we got an absolute bollocking.
So I don't know if you can hear me.
I can. Hang on just a second, Zay. Just sorry, because Stephen was in here first, so I'm just going to
sorry.
Hi, Stephen. How old are you, please?
I was just.
Hello, I'm 29.
Fantastic. And do you agree or disagree?
I'd probably say I'm kind of like in the middle. I'm not really pro either side. I've just been kind of listening in. I think my stance on it is really just don't be a cunt, whatever like flavor of that exists in the moment. So like for me personally, I will respect people's pronouns. Like if someone wants to go by they, them, she, her, he, him, I really couldn't care less. I'll probably get it wrong sometimes, but I'll try to at least say it just because it's polite, The way I see it is it's similar to if someone asked me to call them a variation of their name. My name's Stephen. People ask me, would you prefer to be called Steve? My answer is usually no, but I see it as that kind of, it's how do you want to be spoken about? So yeah, that's my stance.
That's fair enough. I respect people's
I don't think it's comparable. I don't think
I think that's where I was trying to come from before. I think if it doesn't do anybody any harm, I haven't personally got a problem.
It's just not comparable.
I know, but it's not hurting anyone. It's not hurting you.
Why is it not
to call someone a pronoun, is it?
It's hurting women.
Hurting women.
We've just been through that. It's hurting women.
It's not hurting women.
One a she or a her, it's hurting women.
I think it's around, but I think
didn't say
it
using
is
she, her.
around the language, right? Because, like, I refer to Chloe as a she, right? There are some people, and I've got trans male friends that I refer to as he, right? And I don't, no offense, Chloe, but it's not really done out of a respect thing. It's done more because my brain cannot compute. Like, I know what Chloe looks like other than the profile picture that you can see, right? And I can't look at Chloe and go he, him. My brain just doesn't do it.
No.
The same with with some of my trans friends. Trans male. When I'm speaking to them, because we know that males are a lot more, for want of a better word, passable. My brain just can't, so in those cases I do. But if somebody comes up to me and says, this is, hi, I'm so-and-so and my pronouns are blah, 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 I'm going to be like, get the fuck out of here, I'm not going to...
Yeah.
It should be natural. You shouldn't be, thinking about it. If they trick you into seeing them as that, then good.
Yeah.
They're putting enough
I
effort
think
in.
this was where I was coming from when I was saying before I have friends who are trans and, who's now a female and, I call her she because I don't want to hurt her. That's, and she's my friend, and it's not personally hurting me.
But do they look like a she?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
And Stephen, what if you're just speaking to them on the phone or on something like this?
Then it's a whole man still, isn't it?
So I would say your voice is pretty manly. Do I call you he, him?
I'd say it is. I'd say my voice is.
But I wouldn't want to call you he, him because it's just
call me
rude.
what you want. That's the point. I don't care what you call me. I don't care what you say.
And that's lovely that
Why would I do that when you don't want
else
that?
it might hurt.
Well, you know that I'm a male. So if you believe in reality, why wouldn't you do that?
But let's go beyond the male and female and think about human beings. I don't want, as a human being, to hurt another human.
One at a time, please.
Before anything, before any identity, before any job, before anything, you are male or female first.
So you would, what you're saying is you just deliberately hurt someone and carry on doing that, even though they're saying that that's hurt my feelings.
No, look, I've just explained before. See this and saying like, oh, if they ask me to call them it, I'll call them it. Like, no, that's not right. What Cutie Pie has just said, that's the way it works. She looks at me and she looks at her mate Matty and that, and we put enough effort in that she's just admitted it tricks her mind. So it just happens naturally. She calls us that naturally. You calling someone who puts zero effort in, like she, just because they ask, is doing so much damage. That trans person thinks they pass because they're being called she constantly. So they put less effort in because they think they've made it. You're not helping the mental health.
True. Like, trans people know if they don't pass. Like, you must
don't tell the people who are walking in the women's toilet then. Not all of them. Not all of them are aware.
They feel like they're a woman. Whether or not people think that's right, that's why they're doing it.
So what if they feel like...
Why did you transition? Let's talk about your transition.
Like Stephen.
All right, go on,
not
Stephen.
realise the harm you're doing
Stop.
No, come on. Stephen wants to talk to me. I want to engage with this.
So, why did you transition? What made you feel like you needed to transition?
Because as I was developing, right, so when I was a kid, and then I started puberty and that, I developed a mental disorder called gender identity disorder. And that makes me really, like, distressed about being male. So I transitioned to alleviate that. Not because I think I'm a woman, not because I think I'll become a woman, just because it's so uncomfortable and distressing to see myself as male. That is trans.
A little bit deeper. Why is it distressing? What goes through your mind that makes you feel distressed?
Because I just don't like connect with male. So every time I used to look at me dick, it knocked me sick. It made me very uncomfortable. Like, what do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this.
No. I'm just like highlighting the point that you're basically describing not feeling male and feeling like you shouldn't be male. Like, that's what you're saying, yeah?
No.
Like, you feel like your body
doesn't mean that I think I'm a woman. That's what I'm trying to get across. It's just because I don't want to be male and I don't enjoy being male or I've been distressed about it, doesn't mean that I'm delusional and I think I'm a woman. Like, I think you're all like not educated enough. You all think that it's the thinking you're a woman what makes you trans. It's not. It's the physicality. It's the transition what makes you trans. Before I transitioned, I was just a man suffering from gender dysphoria. I was just a man with a mental disorder.
So do you associate yourself as being addressed as a man?
No, I'm a transsexual. Like, people just assume, like most people assume I'm a woman or a transsexual. I get called she all day, every day, but I'm not going to make people call me that.
I do think, though, as much as I agree with what you're saying, I do think you are an exception to the case.
Why?
Because the way that you've spoken, which I respect, I don't disagree with you. I think that there's very few people that would have that opinion.
Because they don't get told the reality. Because most of us just go, "Okay, you're a woman."
Because if a transvestite was to walk into my reception, say, and they looked as a woman and they called themselves Susan, I would just reply to them and refer to them as Susan. I wouldn't think of them as being a man.
But you would, because it's a transvestite.
But I wouldn't know that, would I?
Of course, but do you know what a transvestite is?
Well, yeah, but some are good.
No, transvestites, and I don't think you know what a transvestite is.
A transvestite is a man that dresses as a woman.
It's not. A transvestite is a man who puts like lingerie and women's knickers on and plays with himself. That's a transvestite.
Yeah, but you see, that's not what I've been led to believe. So that's what I'm saying.
Transvestite is. That's transvestic disorder. That's what leads to AGP.
See, it's all this. And that goes back to what we were saying earlier.
If a transvestite walked in your shop or whatever you were saying then, you'd know. But you'd know that was a whole man. There's nothing feminine about them.
All right then. So say somebody then who dresses as a woman, wears a wig, looks like a woman, and calls themselves Susan.
A cross-dresser.
All right, cross-dresser. I apologise for that.
What's with this exclusionary approach? You seem so certain that all of these people aren't real trans people. Like,
a transvestite
what's
is
that
not
about?
trans. A transvestite is not trans.
No, but she didn't say that. She never said that. She said someone comes in and introduces themselves. If they introduce themselves as Susan, presumably transvestites aren't walking around public in lingerie.
She said transvestite out of her own mouth.
Yes, because that's what I've been brought up to believe.
Well, just tell him that you said transvestite.
I did say transvestite, but I know what Stephen is saying. I've got the wrong terminology because that's what I've been brought up to believe. These are things I'm learning.
But my point is still, why is it so bad if someone still looks a bit manly? If they come and introduce themselves...
Because they go into women's spaces where women and girls are at their most vulnerable, where they're pulling their pants down.
Do you think people who want to do that are going to be stopped by... do you not think that they would do this kind of stuff anyway? Like them dressing as a woman?
But we're making it easier if we let them in. If you let one man into a women's space, you open it up to every man, whether they are trans or not. We're making it easier. How do you not get that?
No. It's a free
ticket.
But Stephen, I think you need to also look at it in the sense of like, there are women's spaces where, you know, if you've been raped as a female, you are coming in and you are talking with other women. And, you know, you expect that to be a male-free zone. And that's no longer a male-free zone. And I think it's something that you need, that, like, that is part of the reason. It's not just about toilets. I mean, it's literally about even things as simple as groups. And, you know, you're not even allowed to say that anymore. You're not allowed to say, oh, no, it's a... female only or group. You have to allow everybody in.
But do these need to be mutually exclusive? You know, can't you have spaces that are for sex women? You know, women that are sex.
Yeah, the female bathroom. Yeah, the female bathroom.
So you think, what should trans people do then?
We go to a third space, Stephen. I use them every day when I'm in public. I use a third space, and I don't interfere with women's spaces. I don't interfere with men's. I stay in my own lane.
I think that's what
choice that I made. My transition.
Most toilets don't have that.
But Stephen wasn't here when we were saying.
Bro, and there's a Starbucks every 5 minutes. There's a Starbucks. There's a single bathroom in there. Stop lying. Stop.
I'm not. This isn't lying. If you go to Spoon,
self-entitled men. I use them every day. There's no excuse.
We were saying earlier, Stephen, that the government should provide a third toilet.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
I'll give you another one. In the UK, we can use the disabled. We're entitled to.
No. Can I just pipe up a minute? Z's trying to speak and everyone keeps speaking over them. Z, how old would you please?
I'm 40.
Right, thank you. Let Z speak, please.
Sorry, I just agree with Chloe, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. You know, I think it is really dangerous to start turning around and saying like, oh, it's just toilets, because it's not just toilets. I mean, I teach, and it's really hard as a teacher to be told by, staff, oh, this student is now going to be known as he, him, and you can't address them as a female, despite the fact that that person is still wearing a skirt so short you can see their behind. It's really tough, because what you're doing as an adult is feeding straight down into kids. And so I'm seeing it kind of two levels, and I'm Chloe, I'm like you, I'm in the UK.
So Chloe,
what
is your trans? You'll see where I'm going here. Is being trans a disability? Because
it's a disorder.
There's a reason. So what makes you eligible to use the disability bathroom then?
What do you mean? Are you trying to call me out here? You want to shut them down again?
No, it's a genuine question.
Because it's actually a debilitating disorder that interferes with our life day to day. So it makes our life really difficult. And we can actually claim sick benefit because of our dysphoria, and we're entitled to use the disabled spaces.
And what you've just done there is actually illegal. You're not allowed to ask people what their disability is. So
My disability's not... Oh, it is visible, actually. It's the fucking biggest disability walking. Poster child.
So, but like, as someone
Yeah, that was a hate crime, that.
a wheelchair, what if I need to use the bathroom, for example, when there are other bathrooms?
Well,
Yeah, for example,
if you're tracking, by now you would have realised I've got respect for people. So if I actually seen a disabled person waiting to use the bathroom, I'd wait till they're done. Of course I would.
And seaweed, not everybody who has a disability is in a wheelchair. E.g. me.
100%, I 100% get that.
Yeah, but that's what Chloe's saying. She's got a problem with walking too. So she's totally disabled.
I've got a disability, but I wouldn't use the disabled bathroom.
I have to because I've got loads of... I've got a cane.
Yeah, but I can still walk with my disability. I can still get up the stairs, all right, slowly, admittedly, but I can still use the bathroom if it's upstairs. But I wouldn't use the disabled bathroom.
Like, I understand if you, for example, have, I don't know, autism and the whole sensory, or like, I don't know, for example, you're sitting down, someone else flushes the toilet, like it's a whole sensory experience. I get it. But I don't know. Yeah.
What do you want? Do you want us to cut an arm off? Do you want us to cut a leg off? What do you want from us?
Seaweed, I think like Chloe's has made it really clear that she suffers from gender dysphoria, and you know that it falls under like mental health, which falls under disability. So just in case that wasn't clear, I think that's what she has made clear.
And Chloe, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you just say you can't walk properly, yeah?
No.
Well, okay. I was just double checking because I mishear things, sorry.
I'm classed as disabled because of the cancer that I had. So I can use the disabled toilets if I so wish, and I can use the normal toilets if I so wish. If I saw someone, you know, in a wheelchair waiting to go into the toilet, obviously they would take priority over me. But
unless it was seaweed, I'd push it out the way. I won't imagine.
Great, that's not really respectful. I try to respect the best of my ability.
You've just asked everyone what a disability was. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah, but again, that goes back to what I was saying about how people are still getting used to the language and things like that. And I don't think Seaweed meant that in any horrible way.
Well, I didn't mean that in a horrible way.
In a very small country town, there was literally none of this. So it's like I genuinely don't understand, and that's why I'm here as well to, you know.
There's a person called...
I didn't even know what the word cis was before this interview kind of situation. I didn't know.
There's a person called Lee in the comments, and he's just put, I identify disabled when all the other toilets are full. No, you can't.
Yeah, we all know people that do go.
And in the UK, have they started locking the disability toilets? Because I know in Australia they have started.
They're always locked.
You can get a key.
But you can buy a key on eBay.
You can just buy a key off the shop.
Yep.
Yeah. You can buy the keys off of fucking Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, just stop crying. How many disabled people are there in a fucking building at once? Like, you're going on like there's going to be a queue outside the disabled. I can't the fuck down.
What day is it today? Is it Thursday?
No.
It is.
Yes.
It's nearly Friday. Here.
Honestly, if I'm not at work, I don't know what the fucking day is.
No, I think it's going to be an ongoing topic, isn't it? It's nobody's going to ever agree.
I'm just sick of being called transphobic.
I love it. I love being called a TERF, a transphobe. I love it. I wear them labels proudly.
I'm just so sick of people. The thing is, I have to be so careful not to offend someone, right? But they couldn't give a shit if they're offending me, telling me what I have to say and that I'm wrong. And no, sorry. If you're an adult,
tell you what you have to say, girl, they come up. Girl, they come up, sit in front of you, and debate what a woman is. Like, I couldn't see nothing cheekier. I don't know why you put up with any of it.
Because society makes us.
Well, you shouldn't do as you're told.
No, we shouldn't do as we're told, but if we don't, we get in trouble for it.
Trouble by
exactly.
who? Some people talking about you. Like, you're not going to get arrested or put in jail. Like, what? Some people are going to be disappointed.
If we're not tolerating things, one thing I will make quite clear is I'm not liking your behaviour towards me.
I've never spoke to you. What are you going on about? I told them Twilight. Maggie, what's this bitch on? What the fuck?
He needs to calm down now. Just
everybody take a deep breath.
I didn't really go in your bathroom. So,
hello. Can I speak without everybody rudely interrupting me? Thank you. One, the language we don't need, E the B word. And two, I know Tyler is offended, but the joke, it was only a little joke. Chloe did apologise afterwards, because I had to say sorry, it was a joke. And everybody needs to stop speaking over each other so I can actually hear things.
if it wasn't just that, what else was it then, if you're going to call me out? What else was it? Give an example. Exactly.
I think because you're a nice, jokey person, Chloe, and I think perhaps somebody might hear something you say but not see it as a funny, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but like as soon as I said it, girl, I said it was a joke. Like
you did say sorry.
When I said it, I was laughing as I said it. What the fuck?
So I'm from a small country town, and there's different things around. So then, but it did kind of hurt, especially when you said that what I said was untrue, which like you've never been to where I was.
But I don't need to go to where you are to be aware of like what's going on in your country, and I'd shut you down. So it was untrue what you said. Like, so you're calling me out for correcting you. So I'm getting picked on. I'm more than happy to be for correcting you, but just not shutting down your misinformation.
Don't speak over me. That's the problem I'm having with you
now for doing my job on this panel.
I just don't like to be spoken over.
Or did you just want to spread misinformation to 142 people watching? Because I'm not going to have misinformation.
I'm never saying it's legal. I'm never saying it's legal.
I'm not going to sit here spreading misinformation, love. Sorry.
Do not speak over me.
I just have. What are you going to
do? I think he's winding you up.
And I'm sure I was the one speaking as well. You interrupted me. I was speaking for a while. In fact, stop addressing me, seaweed. This is weird. I don't even know what this is about. Sorry, everyone else, for don't know what's going on with it. Let's move on now.
The back of the backdrop, please. Thank you. In the comments, can you stop? Like, seaweed, please. Lee, stop.
W Chloe in the comments. W Chloe.
You can't advocate for yourself, Chloe.
Well, these women don't appreciate me advocating for them. Gotta advocate for something.
Well, I'm really blown away by you,
Chloe. Just
Chloe.
a troublemaker, and you know, what can you say? What can you say?
Like, I've just been attacked.
I have to follow Chloe around. See, we have to do this tag team. I have to keep Chloe under
Don't
control.
tell me you all didn't just witness me getting bullied.
I'm blown away by what you've said in a nice way.
Yeah, of course.
Alfie, can I ask how old you are, please, mate?
Sorry?
Can I ask how old you are, please?
I am 28.
Right, okay.
Fantastic. Do you agree or disagree?
I think it's, from what I've heard so far, it's a really interesting sort of argument, and I do
the question I asked. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree, I think.
Okay, so you don't think that a woman is an adult human female? So what is a woman then?
I think it's, like I said, it's a tricky one because of the fact that how do we assess a female? Because I think unless we're...
on the developmental pathway of producing large gametes, that's the only way we separate out the schmexes, right? And this whole narrative, up until this transgender stuff, no one No one was confused about what a woman was. When you heard the word woman, you knew you were speaking to an adult who was female and also of the human species. We had no confusion, right? So this is why aren't people even looking at it from this basic level? What has changed in our society now, right, that has led us to believe and go along with this narrative that our biological man can be a woman, right? And when you look at where this has come from, right, it's not a massive breakthrough in science, right? It's not a massive breakthrough in medicine. If it was, this is Nobel Prize winning material, right? No one's being put forward for a Nobel Prize for this, right? It is just someone's opinion based in academia, right, from gender identity theory. This is not a fact. It is an opinion that's being pushed onto society, and we're all meant to go along with it. No, we're not. Woman has only ever meant and will only ever mean an adult human female. That's it.
When you're done, can I add something onto that?
So put that in your
Oh, you're done? Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, the reason the term transsexual got changed as well was because of all this ideology and the gender stuff. Like, before all that, transitioning was just a physical transition. There was no gender attached to it. That's why it was called transsexual. You was changing sexual organs.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with gender. Like, everyone back in the day was just a homosexual, transsexual. They were all being transitioned and that. There was no AGPs being done. Like, there was standards. And all this, and accepting this ideology, is what caused all this problem. 15 years ago, if there was a trans woman in the bathroom, no matter how ugly they were or how much they didn't pass, women knew the situation. And they knew that that man was not a threat to them because they knew they were attracted to men and that they'd had the HRT and they were getting or had the dick cut off. There was standards. It was just...
The AGP thing, though, I thought that
was well said, yeah.
So Chloe, just to question 15 years ago, I thought AGPs still existed. I thought
they existed, but they didn't transition. They were called transvestites. They were just cross-dressing in their houses. They weren't allowed to transition back then.
Right, so like there was...
Decided Brian.
Wow.
Can I ask Alfie a question?
Did Brian to cut to...
Oh, sorry.
How old are you, Brian, please?
55.
Right, no worries.
Worries.
Z, did you want to ask me something?
Yes. Yeah, that's fine. So you said you don't agree. So one of my questions is, what is going to happen with how you would define like someone who's pregnant? So are you just going to say it's a pregnant person now as opposed to a pregnant woman?
No, absolutely not. I think when I say I disagree, it's not that I disagree that, what a woman is. I think I just disagree on how maybe society is defining it now. And I do totally agree with everything that you guys have said in terms of the confusion that's caused now, because I do think that a lot of us have, over the last couple of years, now I do feel as though we do tiptoe around society in terms of what we can and can't say and what we will be cancelled for and what we won't be. And
so Alfie, define society first, right? Because you say this is what society has accepted. No, it's not, right? This is what a group of people in society have claimed, and they've pushed it out onto the rest of society.
No, agreed. But I think that there's obviously a sense now that if you do disagree, then it's classed as a hate crime. And I do feel as though it's a tricky one to navigate now in terms of what can you say without, you potentially, as you mentioned previously,
Alfie,
get disciplinary at work.
Right. No, I get where you're coming from. And a few people have already said this. Look, and when I run lives, the amount of people that come up onto the panel and you can almost, it breaks my heart, because you can hear the fear in their voices. Right, of like, oh, I don't know what to say, or what can I say, or what can't I say? This is what we've done to our society, right? And the reason that it's been allowed to get to this point, we now have a load of scared people, is because we are allowing it. And the only way it's going to change is if we all as individuals and then collectively just say, no, I'm sorry, no. You know, and the thing is, there is things in law now that are coming in to protect us. You know, gender critical being put into the Equality Act is a massive move forward.
Yeah, it is.
Because you cannot, you know, you can't just lose your job now because you're not going along with what this person in front of you is saying. I get the thing about being respectful. I wouldn't go out of my way if there was a trans woman in my workspace, which I'd question because I work from home, but let's just say I worked in an office, and I wouldn't go out of my way to go he, him in that way, because that's bordering on harassment, right? And that is also a crime. But I would refer to them by their chosen name, you know? But I don't have to go along with all the rest of it. And the more of us that stand up and go, enough, because would we do this for any other thing, right? So if suddenly MAPS was seen as, oh, well, you know, society agrees that MAPS is, as we know, minor attracted person, and that, you know, that's a schmexuality or whatever, and it's perfectly normal. So as a society, we have to accept that. No, we wouldn't, right? We wouldn't, because we know absolutely to our core that behaviour is wrong, right? And I don't know why we are not taking the same considerations when it comes to women, right? Women in the UK, we've got a national emergency at the moment. It's been declared, right, by both the head of our Ministry of Justice and the police commissioner, right, that what is going on at the moment for women and girls in this country is like nothing we've ever seen when it comes to rape and SA, right? And if you are a person within society who is then going, well, yeah, men can be women and women can be men, and I'm going to call this person a woman because they say, then you are giving permission for those people to go into spaces where women and girls are at their most vulnerable. There is nothing more vulnerable to a human being than being naked or pulling your pants down, right? That poses a danger. So, but we're not speaking out about that. Why? Predominantly because it's happening to women. If this was a thing that was happening to men, I guarantee you now, this stuff would have been knocked on the head a long time ago.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
It just shows even more what society really thinks of women. So who are the oppressed ones here?
Men don't put up with people's shit, bro, either. Men wouldn't sit there and allow this to happen. They'd all get the fuck up and kick off. They wouldn't be going, oh, but what about the women's feelings with the fake beards? They wouldn't say that. Get a backbone. Yes.
I have to say that, like, being in the UK, as an American, you guys definitely have a lot more protection than we do over in the States. You were just talking about MAPS, and you know they are having to accept this idea and ideology. So, like, I'm not saying it's perfect, because it's definitely not perfect, and we definitely need to be like still making sure people know that it's what women are is it's not, it's what you're born, you know, you're just born that way.
Right, Ryan, do you agree or disagree? No idea. Ryan? Do you agree or disagree with what's in the backdrop?
Disagree too? About what?
Oh, do you agree with what it says on the backdrop? Yes or no?
Oh, let me put my glasses on.
Oh, fuck me.
Women, Brian.
Sorry if I spoke too quick. My apologies.
No.
There we go, bro. We got there.
That
person
was born with male part.
Info position.
That Kai is just put in the comments, just to remind you, that they asked if a PD was a sexuality.
Kai, hello, do you agree with the background?
As in, like, that trans women aren't women.
How old are you, quickly, sorry?
I mean, I'm 19. I'm a 19-year-old woman.
What's your date of birth? Go fast.
2005. I was born in September 26th.
Okay, I'm not the police. Calm down.
No. Okay, so I absolutely think trans women are women.
All right. So my question.
That's all.
Define what a woman is.
My bio is old. Anyways.
Kai, what is a woman?
I know it says minor in my bio. My bio is old. Are you
No,
slow?
That's not what I was saying. Stop talking to the comments. Can you define what a woman is for us?
Okay.
So we can then do the conversation.
A woman is someone who identifies as a woman. If someone tells you they're a woman, they're a woman.
That's circular.
Stop. That's circular. You can't say a woman is a woman. Define a woman.
You need to explain what a woman is.
Someone who identifies as a woman.
Yeah.
But what is more information,
let me speak. What is it that identifying as? Like, what is a woman? What's the definition of woman? Like, what is it that identifying
As I said, someone who identifies as a woman is a woman.
You can't say a cat is a cat.
Everyone quiet a second. Hang on a second. Kai, if I say to you, if you ask me what a table is and I say, oh, a table is a table, that's not telling you what a fucking table is. Tell me what a woman is or get the fuck out.
I'm telling you, a woman is someone who uses she, her pronouns.
Absolutely not.
No, because a drag queen uses she, her pronouns and they know they're a man.
That's a different situation, but
not.
okay.
So Kai, you said you're a trans woman then. Are you a trans woman, Kai?
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not. I'm a cisgender woman. I said I'm a cisgender woman.
You're a biological, so you were born female?
So you're just a woman?
Yeah.
Right, you were born female.
I was AFOB, yeah.
So can you tell me how a trans woman is identifying as a woman? What about a woman?
What is it identifying with?
Okay, so that's advanced biology, and basically what trans people are people whose brains go against, like, how do I explain that? Sorry, English isn't my first language. I just want to mention that. So if I can I speak? Can I speak?
No, hang on a minute.
This is pointless. I'm telling you now, this is gonna go nowhere. But look, I've dealt with these people every day, Naughty. I'm telling you, this is going nowhere. This person is not engaging. They're not listening or not, and this will go nowhere. And they'll drop halfway through it.
But hang on, so this is the thing, right? You claim this to be some kind of advanced biology, right? Which is a load of bollocks for a start. And to talk about it in the brain, right? Yes, it's a psychological condition. And a psychological condition will come from the brain, right? And again, use your critical thinking, right? Because if indeed there was indisputable proof to show that a trans person's brain was developed different to how my brain is and maybe your brain, then we wouldn't be even having this conversation, and it wouldn't have to come under the field of psychiatry. But the only way that you can have a diagnosis of gender dysphoria or any gender identity crisis is through psychiatry, not any other branch
because
of the...
it's in the brain. I just said that.
Kai, listen.
But she's just explained.
Not any other field of medicine. So if it was a brain thing, like you say, they would be referred to a neurologist, because the neurologist is the one that looks after the brain. They're not. They're being referred to a psychiatrist.
And we'd also get an MRI to check the diagnosis. We wouldn't need it. We'd just give us a scan, girl, and say, like, yeah, that's a tranny. Like, it'd be that simple, but that's not
okay, first of all, don't use the T slur. That's really
I'll use that if I want, because I am one. Don't you tell me it's a slur when I'm telling you it's
still
not.
fucking Okay, how are you going to be trans and be transphobic? How are you going to be trans and be transphobic?
How am I transphobic? How am I transphobic?
You're saying that women aren't a woman. You're saying... What the fuck are you saying?
I'm not. I say a woman is a woman. A woman is the only type of woman.
So, I have a question. So
what is the question?
So I'm transphobic just because I don't agree with the ideology. So now I'm transphobic, even though I'm the actual trans. The ideology where you're pretending a man can be a woman. That one.
So aren't you a man pretending to be a woman? Are
No.
you just a man? Can I
No.
refer to you as a he? Can I
No.
refer to you as sir?
I don't know if you listen, I could tell you, couldn't I? Couldn't you? If you could actually communicate.
Okay, hypocrite. Okay, hypocrite. You go, girl.
Yeah, it's hypocrite, not hypocrite. Like, learn to speak, you clown.
Can I reply to Cute Spy? What you said
And I
before
just
about
know
person?
that you're ugly, by the way, girl. So just drop and go
It's
away.
gone, she's
You
dropped.
dog. You fucking dog. Get out of here.
So, Cute Spy, you said about the brain thing, and I think there is. I'm not sure about trans people. I'm gay, by the way, so I know that gay people.
Oh, you didn't need to air that out. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm just because what I'm about to say is kind of like gay people do have more kind of feminine brain structures than straight men. Like there has been research on this, and it seems to be there is some kind of correlation with the brain structure.
That's theory. That's
theory. Because no, Stephen, that's just a load of shite. That's a load of shite because you can get masculine gay men. You can get masculine gay men who you wouldn't even know were gay till he tell you the gay. They clearly got men's brains.
Yeah, because I'm not saying.
Can we go by the neurology of this, right? So here's the thing. There is no metric analysis, because it would have to be a meta-analysis study, right? For it to hold any weight of being proven that this is true, it would have to be a meta-analysis study. And there is no meta-analysis study from the neuroscience section that categorically goes along with any of this, right? There are theories, and because we're still learning about the brain, right? Anyone can, a neurologist can look at the brain, discover a new part that maybe we don't know that much about, and put it down to or make a claim, yeah, this part here, that's proving XYZ, right? So see this little pathway here, that's proven that someone is GAY, or this is proven that someone is trans, right? That is what is happening. That does not mean that that is fact, right? And the truth of the matter is, if you had two brains put on a table, right, one of a trans person, one of not, you would not be able to pick up those brains and go, oh, this one is it, because they will look exactly the same.
And you can go and look for a study all you want, Stephen. The only one that you'll find that's got anything back in it is one that tells you it's still closer to a male brain. That's the only one that's reliable that hasn't been debunked yet.
Where did this guy find out about this whole?
That's right. He's just one of them gays, bro. He just thinks, oh, let everyone love everyone. It's all rainbows and sunshine.
Wait. Can you?
So I'm not a self-hating trans person.
I'm not self-hating. I love myself, bro. I love myself. I love myself because I'm an actual transsexual. I'm totally legit.
There's a lot of fuck all of your opinions. Fuck all of you, rainbow people.
Oh,
You guys
yeah,
are
fuckers dead hard. Yeah, but Stephen, shut your mouth, bro. You haven't got a clue what you're talking about. Just because I don't pretend I'm a woman doesn't mean I hate myself. I clearly love myself because I've accepted my reality.
You masquerade as a woman every day, Chloe, but you're still
I
a
don't
man.
masquerade. Look, listen, Stephen. I don't masquerade as anything. I wake up looking like this. This is what I look like when I wake up. What are you talking about?
It's taken you a long time to put on this disguise, you know?
Well, I don't put a disguise on. I've just told you. I wake up looking like this.
Stephen, you might want to
like.
pipe down, mate.
I'm a transsexual, not a transgender, bro. I wake up like this. I've got tits and a pussy. I wake up like this. I don't wear makeup. This is me. Try again.
Hello. Can I ask you your age, please?
Yeah, 34.
Right, no worries. Do you agree or disagree? With the backdrop.
Oh, I agree. But I want to know where Stefan got this. Like, where did you work out that there was a feminine brain when it comes to gay guys? Where did you see this study?
I don't think he's man. You talking on a dick there, bro?
Did you just
Hey, Chloe.
Yeah, I am Chloe, sorry.
Did you just assume it?
He's heard people saying it with no proof.
It's not a study that's saying this is the cause of the gayness. It's just, gay people tend to have some structures which are more similar to females than
Get it?
But
Go and get it, because you're lying. Go and get it. I'll wait. Go and get the study and bring it back, because you're lying.
Whereabouts is this?
You're lying. Go and get the study.
What parts of the brain are you talking about?
If you know what it says, you'll be able to find it in minutes. So go on. You've got as long as you need. Go and get it, and we'll see you in a minute.
And please let everyone speak please don't speak over each other so everyone can get
Okay, but I've got to shut down this misinformation. I can't deal with it. Just blindly defending people because they're in your community, Stephen. You want to get a life?
Guys, I'm dropping down. Have a good day, everyone. Really good.
Thank you.
Go on, have a good day, girl.
Chloe, babe, if I see you in town, we'll have a drink.
Go on, I'm going to follow you now.
See you later, babe.
Go on,
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
I followed you, Chloe. Bye. Bye.
Go on.
I wanted to ask about the sort of like recent rise in like transgender clinics across mainly the UK, because that's where I live.
Rise. What's the rise?
So yeah,
basically.
So basically, my partner works in the transgender field, and was mainly working at the transgender clinic in London. But there has been a recent rise. So at the moment, there are thousands and thousands of people on the waiting list to obviously go ahead with the procedures. And I feel as though, yeah, absolutely. Obviously, Chloe being in the chat right now, you know, you've been through this yourself, and I'm not disagreeing that there are absolutely people out there that think, do you know what? I am unhappy in the skin that I'm in and with the genitals that I have. I want to make that change. I'd be interested to know how many people are actually experiencing that, or whether it is kind of a trend or a fad that people are kind of jumping on at the moment.
Yeah, it's definitely a trend.
Yeah, because I mentioned obviously the neurological side of it. I would be wondering how many people are kind of going ahead with it, thinking, yeah, let's jump on the bandwagon. I feel this, and then regretting it afterwards.
Sorry, I got a peanut in my mouth. Detransitioners, there's a significant higher number of detransitioners that we're being led to believe.
Yeah.
And the reason behind this, there's two main reasons. First of all, with Tavistock here in the UK, when they realised it wasn't something that they wanted to do, they just disengaged with the clinic, right? So therefore, there was no records or anything kept of this person. Well, Tavistock didn't keep very good records anyway, you know. And secondly, when somebody wants to detransition, they're not going to go back to the same clinic that helped them to transition in the first place. There'd been a lot of fear around that. And the reason, again, and I blame Tavistock for this, that our numbers are, where we don't have a clear number around detransitioning, is because they didn't keep records. It was shocking. And that's what came out during the CAS report.
That's why people don't go back and report it. That's why all the things about like detransition is like being unhappy, because like that the ones who are happy don't go back and report it. Like I'm not going to be going back telling them, oh, it's great, and like giving data. I'm not going to be doing that. I've got what I wanted, and I'm just going to live my life nice and quiet now.
Right, KG, hello, welcome to the chat.
KG, how old are you, please?
He's probably walked away while I was connecting.
Is it still connecting, is it?
Your downfall, like, actually, you're trying to advocate for women, like, he, she, all that pronouns aren't going to affect women's rights. Like, get a grip of yourself. Worry about the word woman and female. Calling someone she ain't going to change shit, bro. Like, calm the fuck down.
Oh, Stefan, have you got it? Did you find it?
I've posted studies in the chat. Both of them are showing that homosexuality seems to have some relationship with brain structures, and that the brain structure changes are more similar to females.
No. You'll get it on your screen. You'll get it on your screen. That's what you'll do. I'm not taking your word for it.
No. You asked me for a study. I provided you one, and now it's suddenly my responsibility.
Wait.
Stephen.
All right, sorry, boss lady.
One at a time, please.
On Discord.
Stephen, it's called neurosexism, right? Hang on. It's called neurosexism. And these studies have been challenged and debunked on a number of occasions. Again, they're just somebody's opinion, It's someone's theory around this.
And
It
if
is
there's actually a graph on it,
true.
Stephen. If you go to the graph and look at the section by the graph, it literally says, although there is a shift towards women, it's still closer to man. It literally says that on the study in a little section.
I never said it was completely the same as the other sex.
So what are you talking about
more
then?
Similar.
So why are you disagreeing with us?
I'm saying, do you guys see that there's no brain structure changes when obviously there's brain structure changes? We're talking about like
the
behavioral
only
differences.
study that shows that is like on like unalive people after they've had
No, they
HIV.
have MRI scanners. You can scan people's
Unalive
brains.
people, Stephen.
What are you
That's
talking
of
about?
unalive people.
Sorry, gay people don't take HRT. He's talking about gays, not.
I'm not talking. Yeah, but he's talking about the study, which includes the trans people, bro.
Well, no, he's talking about gay studies.
Studies, I didn't say there was trans studies. I don't know if there are. I'm just saying.
But that
gay
study
people-
includes both. That study includes both gay men, trans people, women. It includes all of them. That's what they're studying. They're checking the difference.
Can we stop speaking over each other as well, please?
And it doesn't show a difference. Like, it doesn't show no similarity between trans and woman or gay man and woman. It just doesn't show that. Whatever you think you're reading, bro, it doesn't say that.
I also think a study in brains is difficult to show anyway, in terms of how do you define, you know, the main difference between thoughts and emotions and feelings. You know, there are women out there that like to weightlift. There are men out there that like to knit and crochet. I don't think that we can define, you know, women's emotions and men's emotions anymore. It is just a case of and feelings.
There's Pope anyway. He's going to destroy you, Stephen. He's going to destroy you.
I like drinking beer and taking a shit. That doesn't make me a man. Do you know what I mean?
That I also just think it's a tricky one to actually make the actual difference between the two. I just think,
Give us a sec. Give us a minute. The one at the bottom. Faye, can I ask how old you are, please?
23.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Oh, hang on a minute.
I was going to say, do you want to make the bottom square bigger, please, Maggie?
Yeah.
And can we stop speaking over each other because people keep saying it in comments, please? Thank you. He brought this up to substitute. What? Sorry.
There is no evidence for an association between sexual activity and brain morphological phenotypes. Future studies should assess markers of...
Oh, did you hear that, Stephen? Did you hear that, Stephen? You listening? You got your listening ears on.
Yeah, I'm listening. Where is it from?
My arsehole.
And can we let Faye have her opinion, please? Thank you. Getting things.
Hold on, I've got one more.
Yeah, I haven't seen one. I haven't seen one picture.
Hold
What
on.
are you talking about?
There's a second one. So where this came from, babe, is your study. This is the conclusion of your study that you linked, where it specifically states that what you just said is not correct.
I fucking love doing this shit all day, every day. You know, it's fucking fun.
drop.
I was just looking through the same study. It doesn't say anywhere in that study.
They read what they want to read, bro. They've got selective vision.
Homosexual brains are more related to female than male brains. Doesn't say anything.
Can we let-
feminine or what?
Can we let Faye speak, please?
It's alright, I don't mind waiting until they're finished.
I just want you to speak, that's all I've...
Also, the Pope of Hope, that headband that you're wearing, I bought that for my mum for Christmas. She absolutely bloody loved it. She was
The Ratatouille one? Oh my god.
It's amazing. It's so funny.
I love it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump over that. Is that the one you showed me?
Is that a headband? I thought you'd like proper put it in your head and that.
No, it's a headband with Ratatouille on top, and he's got these little clips so you can put your hair in it.
When I first seen the picture, I was like, how the fuck she got that to sit there?
It's brilliant, honestly. It's. I put it on and I was crying with laughter. I couldn't help myself.
were.
It's the funniest thing.
Yeah, so Stefan, where did you hear this from, man? Because these two studies that you brought If you read through them, you wouldn't have said that.
He heard it off a couple of transgenders, bro. Where do you think he heard it?
He just heard
In conclusion of either of the studies that I've linked, so I don't know where you got this study from. It's not the same study.
Yes, it is. It's literally the one that you linked. I copied the code, I put it in my phone, and it popped up. If you go down to the conclusion and the discussion, it's the first line in both of them. I also have the image from the study if you want to see that to prove it. It's right here.
Someone didn't read their own study.
It's the exact same study.
The first line of the conclusion of the study that I linked.
The first line.
That's exactly the same study.
Additionally, I should probably inform you that you're being homophobic and transphobic by insisting that we're born this way rather than we can just exist this way until we find out why we are this way.
Yes, girl.
Exactly.
Oh, yes. Mic drop.
I'm
You
going to follow you.
homophobic, transphobic person,
Exactly.
Steve. Erasing our existence.
I just couldn't help it.
erasing our struggle.
Trans people were studied and noted to be this way because of severe trauma. And you can see that right here, there's an overlap in the brain. This is male, this is female, and this pink dot right here shows that there's overlap in certain parts. But homosexuality occurs in nature and is often thought to be a form of population control because some homosexual animals mate for life. But the idea that human beings are born homosexual or transsexual, or transgender, is not yet proven or disproven. So neither side should be using any research about the brain because it's not completed yet.
And it's gross anyway, Stephen, to imply that children have got a sexuality.
Trans
It's a
rights
bit
activists
sus.
are just as problematic as ignorant gender criticals because you both live in a delusion and can't accept this reality that we just exist and that we should be working together to find out why we're this way, as opposed to advocating and fighting for something that's not true. It's not true. And your own studies tell you that it's not true. And it's really frustrating because the idea that we're born this way lends credibility to the fact that cross-dressers are the same thing as transsexuals. And cross-dressers do not need access to opposite-sex spaces, and they're often dangerous people. But because if you argue that they're born this way, then you're opening up a case of discrimination. That if you don't automatically agree with them and allow them just because they feel that they were born this way, that's a problem. But that line of thinking is a problem. That line of argumentation is a problem because, again, your own studies don't support it. Yes, there are differences, and yes, there are similarities between trans women and women in the gray matter in the brain, and there's also differences between heterosexual and homosexual transgender male to female. The heterosexual, as in attracted to women. So transgender women who are attracted to women are more like men than transgender women who are attracted to men. So it's just contradictory and it's really bothersome. I think you should maybe look at the conclusions of your studies before you cite them in an argument.
A little bit though. Can you scroll down just a little bit to the conclusion?
Scroll, but I can change the picture. Hold on.
Are you on about the bit where it says sexual orientation?
Yeah, I was talking about sexual orientation, not even trans people.
This is not what the argument is about, is it?
In conclusion, we showed that sexual orientation is associated with distinct changes in brain structure and that these effects vary with biological sex. It says nowhere here that homosexual brains are closer to female brains. This is the conclusion. This is the scroll down that you just asked for. And if we go right back to the brain, it shows that there are simple overlaps. These are female, these are male, and there is simple overlap in these three. Okay, you see the pink, 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 red, red, blue, blue. There are similarities, but they are not the same. It's a spectrum. You're just gay, you're not women.
Yeah, no, I'll help you out, Stephen. When you talk about feminine gays as well, I've read a study and it says that the more that like gay males interact with like females, they tend to pick up them characteristics, and lots of gay people tend to surround themselves with females. That's why a lot of gay guys are hella feminine, because they don't interact with like masculine males, they just hang around with feminine women.
Which again, going back to what Poker said, is a trauma response.
Well, they just pick up on them traits. I've seen a study about that as well.
Can we go back to what's in the
It's just not close to a woman's brain anyway. It's just
No,
a
I'm not
disordered
saying-
male
I'm
brain.
not-
That's
yeah,
all
I'm
it
not
is.
saying
It's not
that-
going to be the same as a male one because it's disordered.
Yeah,
But a
I'm
normal
not-
male's brain isn't disordered.
Maggie, do you mind if I put up a picture
saying
from
it's
another
close to a
brain study?
female brain. I'm just saying that the
What's
mannerism,
wrong with the colours?
the reason why like
iCloud. Why is it
feminine gays are really feminine is because they surround themselves with like women.
Sorry, it's.
I think Faye's still waiting to speak, by the way.
Which one's this? Oh,
Faye, just jump in whenever you want to
is
jump
this
in.
the one with the pink and blue things?
Yeah, no, I will do. I don't mind waiting. I just wanted, like, Chloe, you're a legend.
Oh, it's right, bro.
Okay, so this is the other brain study that's commonly referenced. This is the BSTC. So this one here, why won't my finger work? This is a male brain on a heterosexual. This is a male brain on a homosexual. This is a male brain on a transgender woman, post-mortem, and this is a female brain. So as you can see, the transgender female brain is faded. It is not the same as a male BSTC. However, because this is post-mortem and post-hormone therapy, there's no evidence to suggest that this couldn't change. But there is evidence.
Yeah, I said this to him before.
There is evidence to suggest that it does change. However, it's not the same thing.
He was
Now, when
trying
you
to
look
claim that this was done on live people.
No,
he
it
was
wasn't.
denying that
It was
all
a
these
cross
tests were
section.
on a live
It was a
people.
cross section of a post-mortem brain. Additionally, this is a homosexual brain, and you can tell that it's different than a heterosexual brain. But it's only because of these striations. It's not because it's actually different or it's closer to a woman. It's actually less close to a woman than a transgender brain is. But again, we don't know if this is caused by hormone therapy. Maggie, I'm sorry to take over your live like that.
You're absolutely fine. No, you're giving information. That's what this live is about.
Fake and then just to answer Jamie in the comments, no, being gay is not a trauma response. However, being transgender is a trauma response. Being transgender absolutely has basis in being a trauma response, and that's why many societies in history and modern day have just accepted it by giving them their own space. Absolutely no societies have accepted transgender people by equating them with women. Not one of them. Not one. Because we are unique, we are different, and we are not women in the same way that females are. We are transsexuals, we are transgender, we are different.
Sorry, I had to do that.
Thank you so much.
Can you record an audiobook, please? Because I'm obsessed.
Can we hear Stephen's
Sorry
reply?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Like, you explained the study really well. Like, thank you so much for going through it. But just to highlight, one of them wasn't.
Oh, but I
MRI.
still destroyed it before anyway. I still said
Chloe,
all
shut
that.
up. He's coming around to us. Chloe,
I just
shut
didn't
up.
have the pictures. Yeah, go on.
Shut up, Chloe. He's coming around. He was nice. Leave him alone.
Can I just jump in 2 seconds?
It's too late.
MRI study. I thought one of them was an MRI study. Have I got that wrong?
No, they can't do MRIs. I told you that because if they could do an MRI to check if he was trans, bro, that's how they diagnose us.